really good project, and Valiant is, Valiant is coming up pretty big. So just with the, I'd never heard of the Valiant before, because I was a big time collector, but I collected Marvel, a lot of Marvel. Anybody collect comic books? And what do? Do you collect all of them? Because see, back in my days, we didn't really have all the different brands. Now we got like Marvel or DC, that was it. Like we go to a comic book shop, you got, Wolverine, old school Wolverine, smoking cigars, Logan, and then you have all the new ones are coming out. So I was a big Marvel collector. Anyone collect Marvel? Anyone collect DC? Now let me ask you, does DC hold value in comics? Because when I was younger, I was always like that guy that was like even 10 or 11 that collected all these comic books. Now I collected all these comic books that I had and ended up selling my whole collection when I was 17 to buy my first karate school. And it broke my heart because I was like, but I sold it, my collection, for about $11,000, or $12,000 at that time. So, yeah, I know. But I had the giant size X-Men 1, like all exclusive, all, first appearance of Incredible Hulk, bunch of stuff, bunch of X-Men stuff, a bunch of collectible stuff. But I was the type of guy that always buy two, just keep it in the package, and then I'll read the other one, but carefully read it, and then put it back. So I was really anal on my comics. So anyway, long story short, I sold my comic book collection to buy my first business, and now it's just I can come to the Comic Con if I want and buy any comic book that I want. I refuse to buy my collection back, because I see like all these books. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like literally, I know it sounds terrible. I paid 60 cents for that book. I sound like an old grandpa saying, back in the day, I paid 25 cents for a scoop of ice cream. I would give my grandpa like, man, you're just old, dude. Like, come on, man. Like. But then I pay 75 cents for a scoop of ice cream. Now it's like, you go to Cold Stone or whatever, and it's like, So honestly, I paid 60 cents for those comic books. Man, I was a cover guy. I never bought anything that was like, I just bought, I waited for them. And I love comic books. Now with Bloodshot, man, I'm telling you, the Bloodshot story brings me back to the days of just reading comic books. It's such a great story. All the Valiant characters are really cool. And I was like, when I first found out about the project, I was like, read the characters and see if they have that magic, comic book magic they do. Bloodshot's a really good character. And the books that they have, one thing about Valiant that I like, it's consistent. Like nowadays you got Wolverine over here and Wolverine over here, and Death Wolverine, Wolverine, and Wolverine. It's just saturated. Like which book do you get? Like how can Wolverine be in so many different universes at so many different times that in Valiant, if Bloodshot is in this Hardcore Wars, or is here, it's a real timeline. It stays consistent with the whole universe, which I like. So I don't get confused, because I get confused very easily. But Bloodshot Reborn was the most nominated comic book 2 of the year last year. And it's a really good read. And Bloodshot Reborn is something I'll be really interested in doing because it's him out of costume. It's just like Logan. Bloodshot Reborn is kind of like Logan, him trying to find himself. I haven't seen the movie yet, I'm busy. Is it good? Yeah. Man, I gotta see it. Gotta see that. I was so excited because I was in the movie theaters, and I grew up with like listening to Tupac. All right, so anyway, I'm watching the movies and I'm sitting here, and 25 years later, I see the Tupac story of Tupac. I finally got a movie. I see the Power Rangers trailer. I'm like, wow, man, 25 years later, and then Logan right afterwards. So here's a guy me and my brother used to listen to a long time ago. We got the Power Ranger movie, and now Logan, my favorite superhero at that time, Wolverine. And so it was pretty cool, man. It's exciting to see the brand evolve, but it's also, I feel honored and proud to be part of it. See, my mom was sick, and she passed away with cancer. And thanks, man. And before, it's like to rekindle relationships before someone gets sick is a good feeling. Because you don't do it because someone got sick. You did it before, you know what I mean? And so in my whole relationship with my mom, it was great to know that I did so many wonderful things for her before. Like took her to Hawaii, did my more life before she got sick. And the reason why I bring this up is because that's how I feel with the brand. I never betrayed the brand. I never did anything wrong or anything like that. But when the brand was here, I was Dino Thunder, I was over here, the brand was going down. Now the movie, now everybody wants to come out of the woodworks and be like, hey, look at me. It's like, but I've been in the woods the whole entire time with the brand. And that's the only way I can explain it, to know that I feel good. I'm not just here because we was a reboot. I'm not just here because we got the hype again. I've been there. You know, I've been to Dino Thunder. You know, doing Dino Thunder, you know, we could not get an interview at all. Like Disney, it was Disney. We couldn't get an interview. It was just the only interview I got was in New York, which is cool. That's why New York loves me. But it was like, we're going to the first movie, man, we did a world tour. It was like the TV Guide cover, remember that came out? We did a whole photo shoot, all 5 of us, 6 of us, and then it ended up me just on the cover. So I wasn't like always that people were like, you know, so it was me that was on the TV Guide. And then, because I love doing interviews, I love doing press, so they sent me on the biggest press junket. So we went on a huge press junket. It was like, it was a list. It's like, okay, we got Germany, we got Paris, we got Israel, you know, we got this whole list. And then we have New York again, we have New York and a few other stops. They're like, all right, so we're gonna send you guys on tour. You 5 go here to New York and somewhere else. Jason, you go to Germany and Paris, and everyone's like, what? Why does he get to go to all those places? Well, have fun on your tour, guys. I'm out. So I went everywhere. So yeah, we promoted the heck out of that movie. But what I'm saying is, when Dino Thunder days were around, nobody cared about it. It was, you know, nobody cared about Power Rangers. Now everyone seems to care because it's just rekindled again. So that's how I feel true to the brand. That's the only way I can explain it. You know? I guess never sold out. I guess I would say, you know, I've always been here, and I still would even if the show was like, I'd still be here. Because I still have my fans. You know, so. Yes, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Yes.
If you were talking about how the Comic-Con circuit became like a full-time hobby, did you ever try and make a transition from like kids TV into like serious, straight-up acting?
Well, I think the Bloodshot's a pretty cool thing. I think the crossover with Bloodshot is something completely different that you have never seen. Have you seen any of the trailers?
I've seen the trailers, yeah, but I'm not big on the volume stuff.
Yeah, just filming the episodes and having the love story, and it's a safe way for me to cross over to the other side without damaging your image, even though it's like, whoa, he did this, but it's not really JDF killing and dude, it's Bloodshot. That's just the way he was. So sometimes people ask me like, well, you know, you said that you were all against the rated R fan film, and you didn't like the rated R fan film, but now you're doing Bloodshot, you know, and stuff like that, and that's great, but that's Bloodshot. That has nothing to do with the brand. I'm talking the brand in general. It doesn't need to be dark and drugs and all that stuff. This is a brand, and you guys have the power. It needs to be cool enough where we can watch it with our child, you know? We can watch it. I can watch it with Jen and not be embarrassed. And, you know, so Bloodshot was a good crossover for me to do because painted. I feel like, you know, when you talk to someone and you have sunglasses on, you can talk to them a little bit better with sunglasses on. When you take your sunglasses off, and it's like, my dad's like that. You can see my dad's nervous when you put sunglasses on. Take your glasses off, so I ain't taking my glasses off. He just feels safe behind it. So Bloodshot for me was like camouflage for crossover to the dark side of shooting and all that stuff. But I love acting. But the only person in charge of my career right now is God, man. I'm telling you, like, there's so many things that I've done. Thank you. There's so many things I've done that God's blessed me, man. I have a My Mortal Life of me and Tammy's honeymoon. All right, 15 years ago, I was vlogging before vlogging was. You'll see it. You'll be like, dang. I mean, I had the videotapes. There was no outlet. There was no YouTube. I couldn't show this anywhere. So I'm thinking, why am I filming this? Like, God just put it on my heart to film this thing. I'm like, all right, I'm filming all this stuff. And then I go through my archives. I'm like, man, those are awesome shots. Still the same day. Hey guys, Jason, Frank, thanks for watching my movie. I had no place to put this. I don't even know what movie I was talking about. But I edited it, and now there's an outlet. But that's planted from God a long time ago. So my destiny to where I'm going to be is His plan of where I'm going. And what's happening now is I think I'm doing a lot of things backwards because I want to appreciate what makes you, and those are the fans. Sometimes people do an acting, and then they try to build a fan base, and then they let their fan base go. For me, I have the fan base. I'm given to the fan base, and I'm not expecting nothing. But when I get something like Bloodshot, it's just the fans are crossed over. You know, and like I was only written in 1 or 2 episodes of Bloodshot, and now I'm in the whole entire series, and you know, we talk about spin-off and stuff. I mean, it was just like Tommy character. I came in and out, you know, gained some weight, just did some stuff, and it was done. And then the producers and CEOs like, man, we really want you. Your fans are, Bloodshot's awesome. And when Aaron told me, hey, I gotta tell you, you should do this Bloodshot He's one of the most popular characters in the Battle universe, but he's not in it a lot. He's not in it a lot. You still want to do it? I said, yeah. Tommy wasn't in it either. I was supposed to die 10 episodes, not die, but like literally like, you know, pass the powers, and I was only done in 10 episodes. That was it. So when I went on set, I didn't want no one to feel threatened. I wasn't there to be the leader. The guy made me be the leader. The space was created for me to be the leader. I never begged, never asked, I want to be the leader. It's just, if you're born to be a leader, you're born to be a leader, and your destiny will be where you're at. That's why I think a lot of people like coming here. My reason is not just come in here and shake hands. Like, I'm here to tell you that if you have passion, true passion for something, you have to follow your passion. But there's a plan to follow your passion. Some people say, well, I tried at JDF, you know, like, I gave up everything and I tried singing for like 3 months and I went broke. It's because you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You have plan A and you have plan B. Plan A is what you plan to do. I'm going to be a singer. But plan B is what you have to do, the job, working anywhere you got to work, flip burgers, wherever you got to do to support your plan A. So finally, when your plan A is the singing and your passion starts paying off, then you can be like, man, then you can skip from your plan B. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that I think people don't understand. Being an actor in Hollywood, I never wanted to go back to a regular job, you know, like, I mean, when Twee and all those guys left, I had the most uncomfortable thing ever, because when I was celebrating another show, and I'll never forget this, and I love Twee, she was great, but see, these guys all left the show to get paid more money, but where did it take them? It took them into the restaurant business. I never forget it, I was with my agency, and we're celebrating another show, and Twee worked there at the restaurant as a waitress, and I felt so awkward, because, you know, she's like, you want something to drink? I was like, no, sit down, hi, how are you? I was like, man, is this what you went from? To try to get more money and squeeze to going back into a restaurant? Or you should be happy and blessed with what you have and give, because God will multiply. That's the truth. And, you know, the more I give, the more blessed I am. People say, you come here, it's like, I count the blessings. I don't care about anything else. That's why I'm known to rip up money for shout outs. I can get a little crazy when it comes to that stuff. Thanks. But, drink my water. Thanks. But, you know, you do have a purpose here. But if you ignore your purpose and your passion, you're gonna just be on earth. You all have, you know, everybody here now that's running the movie, that's running big things, are all my fans. They grew up watching me. They met me at shows before. Kyle Higgins met me at a Comic-Con. He loves me. I didn't even know, like, I was nice to Kyle. What do you do, Kyle? I'm a comic book writer. Oh, cool. I just did it for him because he's a nice guy. Then I found out he's writing a comic book, and I'm starring in the comic book because he's a writer. So I met you, you were cool. He's in charge of the comic book. So, you know, everybody here don't care what you do or what I can benefit from you guys. It doesn't matter to me. It just matters that you guys follow your dreams. And maybe one day you'll say, hey, I went to this Q&A. This guy used to buy comic books for 60 cents. He taught me a thing. You know? And I don't like when I do things like this for the kids, I want to just sit here and preach to you guys, but I feel like it's my calling, you know, to speak to someone out there and be passionate, or speak to someone that deals with depression. You know what I mean? I have the same issues as everyone else. I'm very transparent with my fans. You know, the only problem is when I have problems, I don't post it on Instagram. I don't want to bring nobody down. The last thing you want to do is go to work and have someone tell you all your problems. You know what they just did? Dumped all their problems on you. You know what they say? Well, I feel better, thank you. And you're like, thanks, you just gave me all your problems now. Now I'm stressed out. You know what I mean? So, you know, sometimes you got to speak the words, and that's why I watch a lot of motivational programs. I watch, you know, I just like to hear things like that. I know Joel's, you know, everyone going, oh, listen to Joel, you just lost a follower. Oh, well, if someone can bring joy to you, if it's not God, I'm not going to hate on you. It's what brings joy to you. Now, my beliefs and my relationships are different, but I would never preach my relationships on you or tell you that you're going to a bad place because you don't believe, because I don't believe in that, because we're all saved. So when I go into a church or I go places like that, it needs to be a motivational church for me, to give me something, to feed my soul outside of anything else, to say, hey, I can do you. If we're all a team right now, we all have machine guns, we have to go to war, you're either gonna go or you're gonna stay behind and get killed. You pick your gun, suck it up, and let's go. Even if you're not eating, drinking, whatever it is, you got to keep fighting in life, because life's not fair. We have to accept that. But it's what you do is how you're gonna make a difference. And really the biggest fan you have is yourself. You're only worth as much as you speak. If you say, oh, I can't do that, I'm never gonna be, you're training yourself. Bad stuff. It doesn't mean to be cocky, it means like, I can do it. It's gonna be great. I can get this done. You know, like I'll do things. Tammy's like, how do you do it? I'm like, you just do it, Tammy. You smile and you do it. It doesn't matter what you do. My instructor says go to competition, do this, do that. Yes, sir. That's what it is. It doesn't matter. If I gotta work for 32 hours or stay up for 48 hours to go do what I gotta do, you're gonna see me smile. Afterwards, I might be like, oh. But it's just that mentality that we need to have. And so I like try to teach people that, you know. I did an interview and the guy that did the interview said, hey man, I feel it in my soul. I feel your energy in your soul. I said, the only reason you feel it in your soul is because what I'm telling you is I'm telling myself. I'm motivating myself. You know, when I say we have problems, I have issues, but I'm motivating myself and reassuring that what I'm telling you is what I'm telling me. So if I feel it in my soul, you feel it in your soul. Which means that it's not fake. It's not empty. That's why shout-outs get paid as empty shout-outs. There's no feeling in them. You know what I mean? Some people don't have time or whatever, and I understand that, but if you ever do, man, it needs to be a feel to it. It needs to be real. You know what I mean? Yes?
So you've been in town time. What was the point?
Well, Zio, you know, my brother played at Zio, so that was pretty fun. Because my brother thought it was just so easy to act. You know, he'd be like, it's so easy. He was a very trying guy, like very just you know, tough fighter. But when it came to acting, he just turned in sweating and scared. And, you know, I loved it. For me, it was just easy. It was like, hit your mark. I was pretty much me as I am. Like, okay, cool. Just a little bit more. All right, guys, cool. All right, let's do it. Yeah, cut. All right, got it. Cool. Moving on. So it just kind of my brother just turned into like acting mode. Hey. I'm your brother. You know, I cut. I'm like, what's wrong with you, man? Why you gotta act like, what? Man, this is hard. I'm not just talking to him. Just be like, you're my brother. Why you gotta be like, you're my brother? You know, so to watch him struggle was funny because I was like, it ain't that easy. You know, but we had a good time on Zio. That was fun. And then I like Dino Thunder. I enjoyed Dino Thunder. I enjoyed the original. I enjoyed when Tommy was on his own. I enjoyed when I didn't want to be a threat to nobody on the show. I didn't care about it. I enjoyed that, just Tommy being a loner. And then things started changing, and cast members started changing, and it was just like, oh my gosh, what's happening next? We're going to peace conferences, and it just was like one of those things. As a kid, you guys didn't understand, but on the working point, it was just frustrating. Where I just happy, man. I just want to go in and film. Everyone's the better the show. Everyone wants more money. It was like, I don't care. I'll do it for free. You know how many people are in line to sit here and come to Comic-Con in front of people and just be so pumped up? There's thousands of people that would want to be you. So the cosplayer is like, I'm so tired of dressing up and going, but don't dress up here no more. I don't know what to tell you. Like, don't lose the hype and don't lose the fun of it. Now, I'll tell you one thing, if the cosplayer was so excited about something, I said, hey, I'm gonna take you and I'm gonna give you unlimited costumes. We're gonna give you like 3 or 4 people to dress you up cosplayer every show. We're gonna take you to every entire show. We're gonna buy you a house. We're gonna give you a car. We're gonna make good, decent money on it. Would you like to do that? The cosplayer says yes, and all of a sudden, 6 months later, well, I want more money. Yeah, there's someone behind me that's gonna do it. We just made a deal, and that would be a fun job. So it's like acting for me. It was like, hey, you want this, you want that. We'll give you whatever you want. I was never greedy. I was just happy to have what I had. Now, I got paid good on the show, but it wasn't about that. You see, I left the show because I told you I was offended. Like, I get offended sometimes when people come up, I'll give you $5 or $6 to sign. Man, I'll just sign it for free. I don't need the money, I'll sign it for free. So the only reason I get defensive over that, or shout out, I'll rip his money up and say, put your camera down. Sorry to rip your money, and you can have that and take it back together. But what is your shout out? With Comic-Cons, well, I'll pay you X amount of Comic-Con. You just offended me. I don't want that. And the reason that I think I have morals, I don't want to feel sold out, I don't want to feel like I have to do something because I do, and that's why I left the show, is because of that reason. I'm completely opposite than other people. When I did Turbo, the whole cast was worth it, all right? So I was probably paid the most actor, all right? But I didn't ask for money, but I was really taken care of because I was loyal. And the other guys probably weren't getting paid that great, or whatever the situation is. They didn't see the owner, so I said, I'll go back to the owner. I'll go back to the owner. So I went back to the owner, and it just, they don't have time, well, don't worry, we'll just pay people more money. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about money, it's about getting patted on the back and just recognizing, and that's what I do in my corporation. So to get recognized, patted on the back, I'll leave if someone says, well, I'll just give you more money, you'll stay. Nah, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. It just, you know, I have morals in life, and I think I try to live by those morals. I don't sell out my black belts. I don't charge testing fees at my karate school. Never charge testing fees. So 6 years later, you test, I'm on the board for 8 to 12 hours. Because that's your payback for, you know, I don't want to put anyone out there that's like a black belt that thinks they can defend themselves and get beat up. You're a black belt of mine, you're a black belt of mine. So I never wanted to sell out. And it's very hard to, in this industry to stay grounded and not sell out. And not say, okay, let me take your 60 bucks for a shout out. I don't need that. It's emptiness. I live by morals, I live by my standards. You know, when I go to iFly, I do that for fun. And I just keep my license and I go in there on Wednesdays and I clock in for $10 an hour. Never clocked in for that. I'll do it from, you know, 8 in the morning to about 3 p.m. just to keep current. And I clean goggles and I spray helmets and people come in and they're like, oh, dude, what the, I did not know. I just kind of do undercover because it keeps me humble. And I want to make sure the other instructors know that I'm not better than them to clean goggles and clean helmets. And that's, you know, I don't need it. I got money, I got corporations, I don't need it, but I want them to know that the way you do it is you come from the ground up, just like fighting. Go into amateur and get respect. That's what happens to CM Punk. You don't go to the top and get paid $1 million. You start from the bottom like I did, and then you get respect. Fighting in old dirty barnyards and coming up and then fighting with the pros. What I did, I didn't want those special treatment. That's the hardest thing, you know. Yeah. Good song. That's the hardest thing, you know. Yeah. Good song. You know, and that's too when I come to Comic Cons, or it's anybody, like that guy I posted, that the Pop-Tart guy, like man, he just came in and just took care of me. Like he didn't know who I was. He didn't care. He's like, oh, you know, New Yorkers, it's hard to read. New Yorkers. They're like, I don't know if you're mad or what's going on. What you need, bro? I'm like, you know, I'm just here for Pop-Tart. I'm not or anything, right? Like, yeah, what you need? I got you. You know, it's that whole. And he did. Got me Pop-Tart and gave it to me. And just like the guy that gave me his last box of raisins. You know, when I go hang out with people that are unfortunate or don't have a home, I'm hanging out with them. People say, oh, you do. Jay, if you all give people money. No, they didn't ask me for money. I'll go and hang out with them and talk to them. The guy gave me his last box of raisins. He lives on the streets. That was probably the biggest thing. And I was like, wow, they gave me his last box of raisins. So I went in, got him a couple $100, got him to take me, refused to take it. No, I said, no, take it. He didn't give me to. He probably thought I was homeless too. I was dressed too. I just go in sweats and just talking and chatting for like an hour. I don't know nothing about power. I just came in, gave him money, and he refused to take it. I said, no, take it, man, take it. No. And that just like that, treating people like the way a person should be treated. Like at the hotels, a few people there that were kind of snooty at me, but now they know who I am, and now they all want to take pictures. Well, now you all want to be happy and take pictures with me. You should have just treated me like everyone else when I checked in. You know what I mean? That was the hardest thing when I would go to Best Buy. Everybody, oh, man, I love Power Rangers, man. Whatever TV you want, I'll buy a TV. I was like, I don't really need a TV. Thank you. I'll buy you a TV. How about that family that don't have money? Why don't you buy them a TV? Why don't you go take my TV and go give it to them? You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that always tripped me out in the Hollywood. So staying humble is the hardest thing. Because I can rise to the top and think I'm better than anyone else. I constantly got to remind myself. I put my sweats, my spandex on one leg at a time. I went to the bathroom, some guy cosplayed, you know, did the same thing. Only on TV, you don't see that part. You don't see us here. Undo the helmet, guys. Undo the helmet now. I can't breathe. Undo the helmet. Okay, I'm coming. It's stuck. Undo the helmet. You know, behind the scenes, I wish we had a lot of that stuff, man. It was awesome. But yes.
Which weapon do you prefer between the Dragon Dagger and Saba?
Well, I would say the Dragon Dagger because Saba just nags. It's like talk. I've been in so many different colors. I tell people this too. Just imagine when you were sobbing and I was trying to blow the flute. Get your lips off me. Sorry, man. I thought you were a dragon. My bad. What color am I now? White Ranger? Yeah.
How you deal with your family, with your wife and your kids? Do you miss them?
Oh yeah, man.
Travel around with them?
It's tough. You know, I think that's the hardest part. I'm just a nice guy, never turn an autograph down. But man, there's some times where I just want to have the father-daughter time and not be interrupted, you know? It really is, and I still do. And it's okay. And I tell Jenna that too, but sometimes it feels like my fans are overriding my relationships. Like my fans are more important. So I took Jenna out to dinner one time. I said, don't worry, man, it's just me and you, father-daughter day. Like nothing's gonna come in between. And then, you know, a guy at Olive Garden was like, hey man, I was like, oh yeah, no problem, man. Let me eat first and I'll take a picture. Because he works there. He's like, well, I mean, I gotta leave right now, man. Can you just take a picture now? And then Jenna and I stood up, took a picture, and then I just told Jenna, that's just life. You know what I mean? Like, I try to train her. She went to Rhode Island Comic-Con when Frances first met her. She was little, and she dressed in my dragon, my Black Ranger Dino Thunder suit, little suit, and she was like raising money for a church and like dollar autographs. And people were so happy, you know, coming up, she's signing autographs, and just dollar, whatever, like, you know, people are just giving her a dollar. Like, you have a girl raising money, she literally took $136, gave it to the pastor. You know, at that age, I probably would have hopped it. You know what I mean? Like, I would have been like, oh man, give this to what? Give this to who? Because we didn't go to church at that time. You know what I mean? So Jenna was just like, I'm going to give. She gave $136. But I never forget her look on her face when she signed an autograph and she looked really bummed out. She looked, I said, what's wrong? She's like, he didn't pay me. You know, because the guy just came with the autograph. I said, well, Jenna, I said, that's just the way it is. Sometimes, you know, people don't. You just gotta take care of it. You gotta treat everyone like it's equal. And I was just trying to train her that way, you know. But still, I was thinking, man, you just ripped off a little girl with a dollar getting her autograph. That's worse than being robbed by a little old lady in a motorized car. But you know, that's the hard balance. It's a hard balance. And sometimes in a relationship, it's like you gotta understand. It's like, well, what do you love? Comic-Cons, you love us. You're working crazy. I've never turned a con down at all. I had to cancel McGowan because I'm filming. But other than that, man, I've been through cons sick. I've been through, and this is I don't have a contract with Mike. I don't have a contract. He knows I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna be there. That's just the way it is. That's the way I work. The whole contract stuff, that's ink. Ink can be broken. It depends how you are as a person. You know, if you're really honoring your word, you can honor your word. Like the interview people yesterday, I told my interview, yeah, I did walk past. I was like, oh, maybe they're not ready to interview. Hey, Jason. I was like, yeah, I just told him. He said, you ready to go maybe in a long day? I said, no, I promise these guys an interview. I said, I promise these guys an interview. And that's just what it is. My dad taught me your word is your word. And, you know, I try to honor every word, but I'm the yes man. Sometimes Tammy's got like, no. I'm like, yes. She's like, no, he can't. I'm like, yes, 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 yes. And then I see it, I'm just overloaded. I'm like, oh my God, I got so much stuff going on. Who said yes? I did. Because it's hard to say no sometimes, you know? So that's a very hard balance. It's a very hard balance. But yeah, I miss them. And you know, Jenna and Tammy, I took them on some Comic-Cons before, and I make announcements to everybody just because I wanted them to talk to them. But like, people just ignored Jenna and ignored Tammy and not talk to them, but they were standing there like, I'm over here, so I'm thinking, oh, they're gonna keep entertained. So, you know, people just didn't talk. I think the guys are scared to talk to Tammy and think I'm gonna beat them up or something, you know? Just like, just talk, you know, I said, hey, talk to Tammy and talk to Jenna. It was sad because not a lot of people talk to them, you know, like maybe 20% of the people in line, so they started feeling like, oh, no one's here to see me. I was like, oh, Jenna, like, you know, interact, but you know, people are quiet and nervous, and so they probably don't know what to say. So I just didn't want her to sit there. And she wants her own career. She wants to be an actress. She's very good at it. She's done lots of auditions. But I'm trying to teach her before she has a career how to treat her fans, and that's the biggest thing. And she's great at it. She's, you know, very humble. She's, you know, she's a teen. She gives me problems, but teenagers. But other than that, though, she's got a big heart, and that's in order to get into this industry. You have to make sure that you have a good heart, and you're not going to fall into drugs, you're not going to fall into the bad side, and you're not going to disappear and end up here 25 years later, all, you know, looking strung out and everything, saying, this is your hero, I want to be a hero. And people go, man, that's good, man. You're still in good shape. I'm still spandex ready. So, yes.
You said you left all that, and then how did you feel back to time?
It felt great. When I left Turbo, I left like a gentleman should leave. You leave and you give notice. If you have a job, give your boss notice, man. Give them 2 weeks notice and give your boss time to get someone else. You know, I have corporations, I've had people just get up and left. Like when the other Rangers left, they just got up and refused to come to set. So now you have to understand, how are we gonna film? We need stunt doubles. We need, it just is my job so much more complex. So when I went back to Dino Thunder, it was great. Jeff, Kevin, all those guys used to love this. Is the first time going back, and these guys were like, oh, I grew up watching you, man. You know, like Jason Drake, coming to set, and I was like the biggest thing on set at that time, you know, because I was returning, and it felt good. And just even more so with Megaforce, like going back and saying, oh man, it's like, you know, you say like a bunch of new school rappers and Snoop Dogg coming into the Snoop Dogg, whoa, you know, is that feeling of the old Ranger coming back that has a legacy. So that it felt pretty good. And I don't know how I was a doctor. I was like, with glasses. Okay, I pulled the glasses off. So it was fine. It was a really good time going back to Dino Thunder. And then I liked the color black, so all my wardrobe was black, and it was Black Ranger, and it was great. So, and I disappeared on the show for a while on Dino Thunder because I had to go back to my karate school because I really tried to keep a really good handle on my school. So I negotiated and said, look, I'll go back to New Zealand and film, but I have to go back to my karate school. My students need me, you know, like I got, you know, 1,000 students, so I needed to go back there. Now I have a great staff to run it, but that's why they made me invisible, is because I had to go film. While I was filming in New Zealand, I had to go back to LA and work my school. So they just like, all right, we'll write you in and we'll just make you invisible. So I just did voiceovers. So while I was invisible, I was teaching my schools. But now I have a big staff, you know, so it's good. There was a question back there, yes?
Do you collect your own figures?
I don't, but I get a lot now I have a lot of stuff. I mean, I would say not collect, but I have a ton of toys that people can't get. Like the Red Sava, the Lucky Draw Red Sava. I mean, I got a lot of stuff. So I wouldn't say I collected, but I just put all my stuff, my mom put all my stuff in storage, so I have a lot of toys.
I was hoping to compete with you.
Oh yeah.
31 different rangers all.
Yeah.
Not one the same. So I was hoping you were going to be like, yeah, and then I could get a number of how many.
Yeah. But no one has the original Dragon Dagger, and I do. So I see that thing, and I was like, I'm so glad I didn't get rid of that because it's the ugliest dagger I've ever seen in my life compared to all these props now. But it's good. It's like pulling out an 8-track and going to a kid. Look at this. It's like, what the heck is that? It's like, you know, I like it now. Yes.
Like before you started, what gave you the motivation to go
Into the acting?
To anything. Not
Karate.
really acting.
Karate.
Yeah.
And training in karate, reaching belts, training in karate was one of those things where I just didn't ever want to give up. Just kept doing the best I can. Never wanted to quit, never wanted to fail. So it was the discipline. Sometimes I wake up and I wonder how I'm even getting through the next day. You know, with everything I've been going through in a personal life, and things hit me left and right, and my mom's saying just bang, bang, and you got to balance with Comic-Cons, and you know, it's tough. You know, I saw him say 5, I saw him say 5, I got he's in the back corner. But yeah, it's just sometimes, you know, the discipline and stuff of it, you just got to keep doing it. I don't know, though. Sometimes I wake up and I see the light of day, and I'm like, I'm alive again, thank God I'm alive again, but let's just do this all over again, like Groundhog Day, man. Just keep doing it, you know? Yeah, we did the Up, Up, Down, Down episode. I'm a fan of all the guys. I know. So going in there, they're probably wondering, like, it's like Rona, what's he doing here, man? They're probably all like worried. Yeah, new superstar coming with you guys. So like, I know all the guys personally. So it was good. So I watched a little bit more, but I used to dibble and dabble into a lot of different stuff when I was a kid. I never put myself into one thing because I just got into everything. You know, maybe my ADD, but I just got into everything. You know, it's a little bit of everything. That's like the style of karate I started, was like a little bit of everything. Just one particular style. We'll go with you, and then we'll take a big group shot, okay? I'll post it on my page.
Besides cosplay and graphics,
You know, I represent Lathan Warlick, who's a Christian rapper. I think Lathan is really, really good, man. You guys heard of Lathan Warlick?
Yeah.
Oh, man, he's good. And so he's a newcomer. You know, man, of course, the talent of Eminem with his lyrics. You know, he's got very, very good lyrics. Some of them not so great, PG-13. But other than that, you know, grew up with the originals, man, like pockets. I don't know all the new guys. Like I know Kodak Black is like a, you know, he's getting arrested everywhere. I don't know, but I don't know all the new guys. But Jenna does, because I'm like, who's that? And then she'll say something, and she'll be like, oh, did you hear this new band, Sublime? I'm like, Jenna, Sublime's old, and they're not even living anymore. Yeah, I know. She tries to teach me things, you know. And it's like, yeah, I heard of that song a long time ago, but I used to like Stir Mix a lot, just stuff like that, you know. So, and then yes, the last question, though.
When you were working on the professional Power Rangers TV show, how well did you get along with the cast, and do you still keep in touch today?
I got along really good with them. You know, I'm a professional guy. You know, when I'm at work, I'm a professional guy. Nothing personally interferes with me. I can work with anybody, even people that hate me. I can work with people. But other than that, there was no hatred on set. Everyone got along great. You just have to understand that, like, me, Dave, and Amy went one separate way, and Austin, Tweed, and Walter went this way on the show. So we started working, and then the new cast came in. I worked every day, 6 days a week. I had no time for other relationships. Me and Dave are super close, still to this day. I talk to the other ones. I haven't talked to really Austin too much, but I talk to everybody. I'm here, I'm available, and sometimes when I do shows, and I do shows alone, I try to hook up a lot of my people with stuff. And sometimes, you know, cons are very strict with things. You're working for the promoter, pay this, pay that, take a picture, no. That's why I kind of do my own thing. So I don't want to compare to anyone. People make a living with this, I don't. I just do it for fun. So that's why sometimes you see me do a lot of solo cons, just because I don't want to hurt anyone's business or whatever. I just want to do what I want to do, type of thing. But eventually we'll all get back together, you know, hopefully. But the band won't get back together until the solo act is done.